Welcome all in this lecture of biophysics. In this lecture and some continuation of this lecture, I am going to discuss about the application of statistical mechanics in some biological systems. Whether we think of the enzymes, nucleotides and DNA that make up a PCR in solution, or the binding of RNA polymerase to its DNA target site in a living cell, these situations involve large numbers of interacting molecules. So I think in one of my earlier lectures I discussed about the transcription, translation and replication. So in that lecture we have listened that RNA polymerase is something that is attached to a DNA. There is a particular site of the DNA and RNA polymerase is attached to that particular site. So this is one of the process of the transcription and translation. So all these situations, this is one of the example. There are many such situations in biological systems where there are a number of interacting molecules. As a result, what happens that we will often resort to a probabilistic description in which we compute the average behavior, such as the fraction of cells in which RNA polymerase is bound to its promoter. So suppose you are going to find something like average behavior. You see the average behavior. So what is the average behavior? That is the fraction of cells in which RNA polymerase is bound to its promoter. So there is many cells and you are going to find that is the fraction of the cells in which RNA polymerase is bound to its promoter. Or suppose the fraction of DNA molecules that are melted in a PCR assay. So there will be many such examples in biological systems. Statistical mechanics is the tool that permits us to write down the probability of the many different microscopic states that are available to the system of interest. So we will apply the ideas of statistical mechanics to find out the probability of the many different microscopic states that are available to the system of interest. Now in this particular lecture I will mainly focus on the microscopic states which arises in different situations. In statistical mechanics we have already learned about macrostates and microstates. I will request the viewers to go through those topics again, that is what do you know by macrostate and what do you know by microstate. You can also listen one of my lecture listed in the playlist in the statistical mechanics. So there you can also learn about the microstate and macrostates. Now though we will invoke these same ideas in many different ways, ranging from the behavior of DNA binding proteins to the allowed geometric configurations of DNA, we use the case of simple ligand receptor binding to introduce the first idea for the statistical mechanics toolkit, namely that of a microstate. Now we will learn about the microstate which is relevant for some biological systems. I think you have some idea about the microstates, but this concept we will discuss in the context of some biological systems. And I think the chemistry students have learned the term ligand and receptor. So what is ligand? Ligand is some types of ion, or it may be also some neutral molecule that is able to attach with some atom. So that atom we will call as receptor. That means it accepts the ligand. So ligand is something that is able to form a bond with some atom. So that atom I am calling as receptor. So at first we will learn about the microstates in terms of a particular example. So that is the example of ligand receptor binding. So with that example we will learn the idea of a microstate. A microstate is one particular realization of the microscopic arrangement of the constituents for the problem of interest. So that sentence I can call as the definition of the microstate. So there may be different systems in biological physics. So suppose you consider one of such system. Now a microstate is one particular realization of the microscopic arrangement of the constituents for that system. So for a particular system there may be different types of microscopic arrangement. If you look the system in microscopic point of view, then there may be different types of arrangement of the constituents. I will show you or I will explain you with some examples, and then this definition will be more clear to you. To define this idea or for this particular definition, figure 6.1 shows a model of ligands in solution in the presence of their relevant receptor. So let us look at the figure. You see this is a figure, and these red circles are ligands, and this greenish one, that is a receptor. So I have already told you that is ligand is something that is able to form a bond with the receptor. So this is a solution. In this particular solution there are different ligands, and we have kept just only one receptor. So one of the ligand, not some, only one of the ligand will form a bond with the receptor, and it will be attached to the receptor. So this is called the ligand receptor model. This particular model is called the ligand receptor model. Now this figure introduces one of our statistical mechanical workhorses, namely a lattice model of the solution, in which we imagine the solution as a series of tiny boxes amongst which we can distribute the ligands. Now we are going to introduce a particular model that is known as the lattice model. Now I think the physics students have some idea about the term lattice. You see, when we have learned our crystallography classes, there we have learned that a material, that is crystalline material, can be thought of some geometrical arrangement of the atoms, and this particular arrangement is periodic in nature, and we call this particular arrangement as lattice. Now this particular solution, we are treating as a lattice model, and lattice model means, you see, that is this portion of the solution that has been divided in many tiny boxes. You see this these are the square boxes. This is the first box, second box, third box in the first row, and in the next row again the series of such boxes. So we have divided the total solution in some tiny boxes, and all these ligands are in any of such boxes. You see this particular red ligand is in this particular box, and this one is also in this box. So all the ligands are in some boxes. When we use the term microstates in this setting, we are referring to all of the different ways of arranging these L ligands in solution and on the receptor. Now I have already introduced the definition of microstates. If you want to define microstate more specifically in the context of this particular figure, then we have to explain in this way, that is, the term microstates in this particular setting means for this particular system we are referring to all of the different ways of arranging these L ligands in solution and on the receptor. Now you think in this way, that is, there are different tiny boxes available in the solution, and these ligands can be arranged in different ways. For example, suppose for a particular instant this particular ligand is in this box, but for some other arrangement, that is at a different time, this particular box may not be here, this may be in some another box. So there may be different types of arrangement available. For some situation this tiny box will be attached to the receptor, and for some other situation these ligands may not be attached to the receptor. So there may be different arrangements available. So the term microstates in this setting, we are referring to all of the different ways of arranging these L ligands in solution and on the receptor. So this is what about the idea of the microstates. The particular cases in the figure show several different microstates in which all of the ligands are free in solution, and one microstate in which the receptor is occupied. Now you see in this figure we have kept only one receptor. With this particular receptor only one ligand will be attached to this. So what will be the cases? The cases will be like this, that is, ligands, all ligands are free in the solution, and in a particular instant, suppose at this instant one ligand will be attached to this receptor. So ligand may be attached to the receptor, or all of the ligands are free. Now when we think that is all of the ligands are free, for example, suppose in this figure, then you can distribute these ligands in different ways. For example, this is the first picture, we are denoting that as microstate 1. Here all the ligands are free in the solution. Now in the second figure again all the ligands are free in the solution, but if you carefully look at the picture, first picture and second picture, which we are referring as microstate 1 and microstate 2, you see that the distribution of the ligands in the solution are different in these two figures. Again you see the microstate 3, you see that some of the ligands are coming close to the receptor, but the ligand is not attached to the receptor. That is, ligands are free, but still the distribution of the ligands is different from the above two figures. So this is one of the microstate we are referring as microstate 3, and in microstate 4 one of the ligand is attached. So this is the simple model of a ligand receptor binding. The solution is treated using a lattice model in which the positions that can be occupied by ligands are dictated by a discrete set of a lattice sites. So we have thought the solution like a discrete set of lattice sites, and in these lattice sites ligands are occupied. The microstates of the system correspond to the different ways of arranging the L ligands among the different lattice sites. So we have described, that is, there may be different types of arrangement. In the figure some of the arrangements are shown, but in practice there will be many such arrangements. So all these arrangements will denote different microstates. The first three microstates correspond to an unoccupied receptor. So in this figure, state 1, state 2 and state 3, those are describing the unoccupied receptor, you see that receptor is not attached to any of the ligands, but you look at the fourth figure, that is the microstate 4, one of the ligand is attached to the receptor. So the first three microstates corresponds to an unoccupied receptor, and microstate 4 has a receptor occupied. So that receptor is occupied. So there are L-1 ligands in the solution, because one ligand is bound to the receptor. That means there are L- ligands that are free in the solution. So this is the idea of microstates in the context of lattice model. Now you see that is the total number of microstates corresponding to the unoccupied receptor is given by number of microstates, that is equal to omega factorial divided by L factorial into omega minus L factorial. So what is this number? That is, this is the number of microstates. This is the number of microstates. The total number of microstates corresponding to the unoccupied receptor. Here you see that is omega. What is omega? Here this omega is the number of the tiny boxes available in the system. And what is capital L? Capital L is the number of ligands, and the symbol omega factorial is shorthand for omega into omega minus 1 into omega minus 2 into omega minus 3, in this way into 1. So this is what is known by omega factorial. We know that is how to calculate the factorial. So this number is the total number of microstates. Now I will explain later on, that is how we have derived this formula, that I will explain later, but you just focus that this is the total number of microstates available for this particular example. A second example of the idea of microstate is illustrated in figure 6.2. I will again show you a figure, but what is this figure about? If we were to look down a microscope at fluorescently labeled DNA molecules such as those from Bacteriophage lambda with a genome length of 48 kilobase and a contour length of roughly 16 micrometer, what we would see is a fluctuating blob of fluorescence. So now I am going to show you a second figure, that is also some examples of the microstates. Now this figure is about the arrangement of a DNA. So this DNA is from the Bacteriophage lambda, but what we are going to discuss, that is the arrangement of the DNA. In the previous example we have discussed the idea of the microstate in terms of the ligand receptor model. So this is, now I am going to discuss some another example of the microstate. So let us look at the figure. This is figure 6.2, microstates of DNA in solution. DNA molecules and other polymers jiggle around in solution exploring different conformational states. So you see this is microstate 1, this is microstate 2, this is microstate 3, and so on. So basically these are different conformational states. We can say that at different time the DNA corresponds to different structure. So we are saying that is they have different conformational state. Each one of these conformations represent a different microstate. So you see that the structure of the DNA is structure means here I am saying the conformational state. So these conformational states are different. So they are different microstate corresponding to a DNA molecule. Here figure A, fluorescence microscopy image of the lambda DNA confined to a surface. So this is the fluorescence microscopy image, and in figure B, film strip showing conformations of a single DNA molecule at different instant. So these are actually pictures of the DNA at different instant of time. But if you show, look the DNA in some fluorescence microscopy image, then that image is like this. So you are looking at a particular instant. So if you look at a particular instant, then you will look that there are different conformational state of the DNA. All these are DNA. All these are DNA, but at a particular instant, their structures, or more specifically their conformational states, are different. But in figure B, we have represented the conformational state at different instant of time, because I have already said that DNA molecules, DNA molecules such as those of bacteriophage lambda with a genome length of 48 kb and a contour length of roughly 16 micrometer. So if you look these DNA molecules, so what you will see a fluctuating blob of fluorescence. You just focus on this sentence, that is fluctuating blob of fluorescence. Fluctuating in the sense that is their structures or their conformational states vary with respect to time. If we had very high spatial and temporal resolution, what we would observe is the DNA molecules passing through a series of distinct conformational states. So you see what we have used this term, that is you should have very high spatial resolution as well as temporal resolution, because the structure of the conformational states depend on time. These structures vary. So that is why you should have the instrument which has very high spatial and temporal resolution. In that case, what you will observe, that is DNA molecules will pass through a series of distinct conformations. The shapes of the molecules, that is the microstates, can be characterized by using the distance along the molecule. So how to define the distance? You see, that is we can define the distance in this way, that is labeled S as a level to characterize a particular point on the molecule, and the function RS to characterize the positions of all such points. In other words, the function RS characterizes the instantaneous microstates of the system. So that means you can define some positional coordinates to define a particular molecule of this DNA. So that is basically a position function RS. So with that position function, you can say that is the conformational states vary with respect to time, and at different times this RS function will characterize the instantaneous microstate in that particular time. It should be evident from the above two examples that there is no absolute definition of a microstate for a biological system of interest. In the DNA example, one might alternatively describe the configurations of the molecule by listing the instantaneous coordinates of all the atoms. So suppose if we consider the instantaneous coordinates of all the atom at a particular instant of time, you just defining all the coordinates, in which case the microstates are all such lists of coordinates. So at this particular instant of time, microstates are all such lists of coordinates. So in this way you can also define the microstate. So the microstates will depend on the formalism that you are adopting. It may be different depending upon the formalism used. Therefore, the microstates one chooses to describe a system of interest depend on the particular question one is looking to answer. So it will depend upon the experimentalist. The description of DNA configuration in terms of RS is appropriate when analyzing single molecule pooling experiments at low forces, but might be inadequate if we want to investigate structural changes at the base pair level due to large forces. So that is why I have said that is the microstates will depend on the experimentalist, how you are looking at the system and what answers you want to find. So depending on those situations, the microstates will vary. That is why microstates are not absolute in nature. Now in this discussion we have used one formula That is, we have written that is number of microstate is equal to omega factorial divided by L factorial into omega minus L factorial. But how we can derive it, that we should also discuss. So one of the mathematical tools we will use repeatedly in this biological physics lectures is counting of the number of ways of arranging L distinguishable objects in omega boxes. So you have total omega number of boxes and you have capital L number of indistinguishable objects. Indistinguishable means you can't distinguish different objects. That is, we are saying as indistinguishable objects. Without permitting any box to have more than one object. Now we are imposing one restriction. That is, in a particular box, only one object will be there. When we put the first object in a box, we have omega choices for where it may be placed, because you are going to put the first object. So you have just taken a particular object from total L number of objects and you are going to put it one of the boxes. So the number of boxes are omega, then you have omega number of choices for which the object can be placed. Once the first object has been placed, there are only omega minus 1 boxes left to put one of the remaining L minus 1 objects, because you have already used one of the objects. So now you have L minus 1 objects and you have total omega minus 1 box, because one box is occupied. So omega minus 1 boxes is left. So you have total omega minus 1 choice. This same basic argument is repeated L times with the result that we have omega into omega minus 1 into omega minus 2. In this way, the last term will be omega minus L minus 1, because in the first term you see that is we can also write omega minus 0, that is omega. That is why the last term is omega minus L minus 1, because you have L objects. So this number of ways of distributing the L objects. So if you have L number of objects and if you have omega number of boxes, then the arrangements will be like this, that is omega into omega minus 1 into omega minus 2. In this way, this particular formula can be written more simply as number of arrangements is equal to omega factorial divided by omega minus L factorial. However, so far we have neglected the fact that the L objects are indistinguishable in nature. For example, if we have L shiny black billiard balls, we cannot distinguish the state in which one of the balls is in box 5 and the second in box 12. And from the opposite case, suppose you have some shiny black balls, all are similar in nature. Now suppose you have kept one of the ball in box number 5 and you have kept another ball in box number 12. So this is, suppose you are considering this as a microstate 1. This is the first microstate. In the second microstate, what you have done, you have just reversed the situation. That is, you have just withdraw the ball from the box number 12 and keep it in the box 5, and similarly you just withdraw the ball, previous ball which was in the box number 5, and you keep it in the box number 12. That is just the reverse situation of the previous case. And suppose this is the microstate 2. Then is there any difference from microstate 1 and microstate 2? Actually there is no difference. Why no difference? Because the balls are indistinguishable in nature. If we are able to distinguish the ball, suppose if one of the ball is black and another is red, and in the first case the black ball is in the box 5 and red ball is in 12, and in the second case the red ball is in 5 and the black ball is in 12 box, then the situation is different and the microstates are also different. But if the balls are indistinguishable in nature, the microstates are same. if we were to take a picture of the occupancy of the different boxes and then rearranged the objects while using the same subset of boxes, that is, we will not change the boxes. If there are total omega number of boxes and some boxes are filled with the balls, then we will not change the boxes. What we will do, we will rearrange the balls in such boxes. We will not change the boxes. Then the photographs would reveal no difference. And if we take photograph in each of the arrangements, then there will be no difference in these photographs. So all these arises from this particular fact that L objects are indistinguishable in nature. Now to cure this over counting, we have divide out the L factorial ways of arranging the L objects in the boxes they occupy. So basically, as these arrangements are same, all these arrangements are same, so you have to modify this formula. Here we have assumed that is the objects can be distinguishable. In that case, number of arrangements will be omega factorial divided by omega minus L factorial. But to account for the indistinguishability of the balls, then you have to modify this formula. So how to modify this formula? Then what we have to do, we have to divide out L factorial ways by arranging the L objects in the boxes they occupy, because these L factorial ways of arranging the L objects in the boxes are similar in nature. There is no difference in it. As a result, the actual number of distinct states for these L objects in omega boxes is number of states is equal to omega factorial divided by L factorial into omega minus L factorial. So this is actually like the FD distribution in statistical mechanics. So I will request the viewers to read that particular distribution again to have more clear idea. But this particular distribution will be used again for studying some different biological systems. So in this particular lecture, what we have learned? We have learned about the microstates, and we have also learned that is how to calculate the total number of states. You see, for these systems under study, we have used this particular formula to estimate the total number of microstates available for the biological system. So here we have used the lattice model of the ligand receptor bonding. So if we consider the lattice model, then the number of states will be omega factorial divided by L factorial into omega minus L factorial, where omega is the number of tiny boxes available for the lattice sites or for the solution, and L is the number of objects, but we have to say that these objects are indistinguishable in nature. I hope you have understood the topic, and we have discussed this particular topic from the textbook Physical Biology of the Cell, written by Rob Phillips and others. I will request the viewers to go through this textbook for further understanding, and I also thank you for listening this lecture.